All right, everybody, welcome back to the channel. Today we are going to go over the beta 46 updates that are being released on July 10th. It's going to be July 10th China time, so it's going to be July 9th in the evening when we start seeing the effects of on the server. We're going to do this update a little bit differently. I'm going to turn my cam on and just kind of do this live with you. Usually I heavily edit these videos to take out my stutters and stammers, but we're going to try something different. We're just going to run over this together, and I'm going to try not to talk too much. So let's jump right into it with battlefield adjustments. We can see that they are starting to they're trying to make this a little more on parity with Honor of Kings. So the teleportation circle from the Slayer lane is being added so that the Slayer lane heroes can get into team fights sooner. So rather than being marooned up in the Slayer lane, you might get down to the mid from time to time, but you never really get involved in that first gank on the dragon lane. But you can do that now. So at 2 minutes, the portal opens, so you'll be ready for the 4-minute gank, and it closes after 8 minutes after activation. So it'll stop at the 10-minute mark. Heroes can teleport, but the teleportation can be interrupted, so it takes 3 seconds to teleport. And if you do get interrupted by some sort of a crowd control or a knock up, it takes 15 seconds for you to try again. And once you have successfully teleported, you can't teleport again for 90 seconds. So just some weird uses there. I'm not sure how that'll go, but it'll be interesting to see how that works out in the matches. Added a tower protection mechanic. During the first 4 minutes, the damage from enemy heroes is reduced by 25% if you're under tower. So this should stop Baijon and other heroes from tower diving and killing the player within the first 4 minutes. Now, after 4 minutes, good luck. This reduction lasts 10 minutes and then disappears. Huh, I just now read that. Is reduced by 25% for the first 4 minutes. This reduction lasts 10 minutes and then disappears. So why wouldn't they say 14 minutes? I don't know. We'll have to see how that works out. So the early game tower dive is going to be a little harder. 25% damage reduction. Creep adjustments. This is pretty interesting. So the creeps are going to be harder to kill in the first 4 minutes. Those base HP increases are going to, looks like they're going to diminish over time. But all of the creeps have increased health. Dragon lane creeps, and I'm not really sure if I've never really noticed gold creeps on the dragon lane. But it looks like they're just kind of changing that so that it's going to disperse the gold amongst 3 creeps in those first 4 minutes. So it's not really changing anything, just kind of how the gold is dispersed. But this next one's really interesting. Adjusting the movement speed of creeps in the dragon and slayer lane so that the creeps from all lanes will converge at the same time. And right now we see the support hero go into mid because mid always hits first, doing a little bit of stuff there, getting some XP, sharing it with the mage, and then going to his lane. So this makes that game strategy a little moot, because all of the lane creeps are going to hit at the same time. So that'll be interesting to see how that works. Looks like we have a jungle camp being added, an Owlgriff camp by the blue buff. So that'll be some more XP and gold available. And a Slayer Lane Hermit Crab is being added. Hermit Crab is being added to the Slayer Lane. So it will stop at the 8-minute mark, but that gives the... so maybe when you leave the Slayer Lane after the first 4 or 5 minutes, you won't be so far behind in XP. Red buff effect is being adjusted. Right now, the normal attack's slow. heroes 30% slow. Oh, near range heroes, so melee heroes 30%, far range heroes 16 to 30%, and it lasts for 3 seconds. Now, let's see. Oh, and the normal attack burns. Afterwards, the hero normal attack causes burns for true damage. So that's true damage has been increased. Lasts for 2 seconds. The 15% so the slow has been reduced, but it can stack twice, and the slow lasts 2 seconds. So the effect of the slow effect of the red buff is being decreased a little bit, but it's looks like it's kind of being equalized between near range, melee and ranged heroes. Epic jungle creep adjustments. Adjusted the control skills for the Dark Slayer and Light Dragon. So the buffs that we get from those, it reduces their target's physical and magic attack by 15% for 3 seconds when they control them. So I guess when we get hit by their abilities, it actually makes it harder to get them. So that's interesting. Adjusted the area, and now we gain a shadow burn when their area damage skill hits an enemy. Reduce the target's physical and magic defense for 20% for 3 seconds. So this sounds like it's going to make it a little easier to steal the Slayer and the Dragon, because people that are inside tanking the attacks from the Dragon and the Slayer are going to have reduced magic defense, reduced attack. So that'll be interesting to see how that plays in the game. And then the Holy Light Strike buff, we get a movement speed bonus on top of the lightning damage. Equipment adjustments, they are adjusting the shoes. So the designer's perspective, we want to simplify the gameplay as well as give challengers the chance to change their shoes without any penalties. To make switching shoes more reasonable, we've adjusted the prices, attributes, and passive effects of all shoes. So let's just run through this real quick. Level 2 shoes can be switched for free. There's a 3-minute cooldown between switching, but they can be switched for free. All shoes now cost 700, and the attributes are Sonic Boots. The attack damage reduction has been lowered from 15% to 10%. Hermes Select now gives you HP, but the movement speed buff has been changed to be a little lower. The enhanced kicks has higher magic pierce, so that's great for mages. War Boots attack speed has been reduced, but there's a new passive of life restoration with the War Boots. So heroes like Valheim and Violet and whoever else might have an item that gives them some life steal and some regen, this is just going to help them with that. And then Flashy Boots, new passive, reduces the cooldown time by 15%. Displacement 120-second cooldown for a 102-second cooldown. Okay. So there is some changes for the boots. Now we get into the new hero Dolia. This is a import from Honor of Kings, so you may have already played her over on that platform. But what we have, Dolia, her passive, she transforms into a mermaid when she's in water. She alleviates the slow effect taken by 50% and restores HP and mana when she's in that form, it looks like. Her normal attacks as a mermaid shoots water arrows, dealing area damage. Dahlia's restore will be replaced by a gift of the merfolk, allowing her to establish a pact with a selected ally. So when using him to the deep, she will prioritize her pact partner. All right. That's a lot to take in, but it looks like Dolia, well, I should have said she's a support hero. It looks like she has some restoration, HP and mana restore built in, and she can affect allies. So her skill 1, she begins to chant and sending out sound waves that deal damage and inflict a slow effect. The last sound wave triggers an echo that deals damage to the enemy touched, and if it's cast in water, it also knocks back. Skill 2 is a dive. So skill 1's kind of a damage and can be a control effect. Skill 2, Dolia leaps into the air, transforms into a mermaid, and when she lands on the ground, she creates a water area that restores nearby allies' HP. And the water area can restore HP and mana. Allies can restore HP and mana like Dolia. So Dolia creates a water zone and activates her passive, so she gains some HP and restore, but allies can as well. If she casts this in water also, or jumps into an existing water area, the cooldown time is reduced by 30%. So she can get that skill 2 back 30% quicker. The water area created by Dolia disappears after for 4 seconds after she leaves it. So, and then the ultimate, Hymn of the Deep. We saw that in her passive. After a brief channeling, Dolia refreshes nearby allies' skills, which is currently on the longest cooldown, and takes that cooldown on by herself. Okay. Dolia prioritizes refreshing skills for her pact partner. So her ult, I'm not sure if it does anything else, but it will take the cooldown of the longest cooldown. So that could potentially be pretty big if you engage in a team fight, and let's say something like Stuart's ultimate does quite a bit of damage in the later stages of the game. The cooldown's a little bit high, so in the first engagement, Stuart can S1, S2 to kind of get rid of some damage, and then ult, and then if she ults again, he can have that back pretty quick. So he could could have some interesting interactions between this new support and the ally. So we'll see. I've read that she's not particularly astonishing as far as a support hero goes, but we'll as soon as she comes available, which on Level Infinite servers is probably going to be another couple of weeks before we see her. We won't see her tomorrow, but I'll get her as soon as we can, and we'll see how she plays. Now, the quality of life updates and the battle experience improvements and system improvements, we're going to blow through these pretty quick. They don't mean much here, but battle experience improvements. So the large jungle creeps, the Sage and Mike Golem, they heal and return to, let's see. Oh, right now they heal when they go back, but it says that they're going to stop healing and return to the battlefield when attacked while entering the caution zone after exiting battle. Currently, enemy heroes will invade and interfere with the enemy's starting experience and efficiency, so we've made it so that jungle creeps will immediately enter the battlefield after exiting combat. So that'll make that jungle ganks a little harder. I'm not exactly sure what that means, honestly, but we'll find out. Then VIP system upgrades, 9 times out of 10 level infinite. We don't get any of this crap, so we're going to go just kind of slowly scroll through it. If you want to read some of it, you can pause and do that. Player card improvements, friend improvements, reporting system improvements, which is nothing major. It's just, you can report in the lobbies and report other things. Ranked match tier improvements. They've done some stuff for Conqueror, Grand Conqueror, Supreme Conqueror. I've never made it to Master, so I don't know how many of you will benefit from any of this. And new interactions for relationships, highlight moments, and stuff like that. So nothing major there that particularly affects most of us. Now, the part that between the Slayer lane teleporter and a few other minor adjustments in the battlefield, this is pretty interesting for most of us. So Tachi has got an adjustment. We've taken the note that challenges that Tachi faces, as well as their preferences for him. As such, we have made adjustments to his mechanics, unlocking his jungler ability, then to optimizing his damage output. We hope that these changes will provide players with more options in choosing their playstyle in the Horizon Valley. So the passive, as of right now, the passive description says heroes and epic wildlings are all that unlocks the seals for him. But now the red and blue buffs can also unlock some seals. The passive skill's burst damage has been changed to 2% of the target's max HP and increases 1% for every 100 AD. The passive skill that restores HP has been changed to 2% and increases again. The passive skill's movement speed bonus has increased to 80% from 50%. The shield that is gained changed to 25% of max HP, and you get a bigger shield for more AD. So looks like building AD on Tachi is going to be important for his passive abilities and maximizing those. Normal attacks will no longer grant a shield. Gain 30 additional movement speed while unlocked. So that's all the changes for his passive. Skill 1, base damage has been base damage has been decreased a little, plus 1% of AD instead of 90% AD. So maybe that's kind of about equal. But then damage after unlocking has gone up significantly. So that's going to be great. It's good that they've added the ability to unlock it with some of the other minions on the field. Skill 2, again, the charge interval has been decreased, and the ultimate cooldown has been decreased as well. So skill 2 and ultimate will be available more often. It won't take so long to charge skill 2, and his ult will cool down a little bit quicker. All right, so that's for Tachi. I did some looking. He looks like a kind of a tough hero to play. So we'll see. Maybe I'll get him someday and try him out on a stream. Dio-chan just got that full work, and now she's getting nerfed. They're seeing that having a little bit too much influence, a little too powerful. So Chilling Frost cooldown has been reduced, or increased. She doesn't get the level bonus, so it's just a flat 6 seconds for Chilling Frost, and the ultimate blizzard has also been increased on the cooldown, so she won't have things that really make her effective quite as often. So we'll see how that works out for Dio-chan. Illumia has been buffed. Often perceived as a mid lane mage who hovers above the fray, suppressing enemy creeps with her ultimate, but we felt that she doesn't provide enough support. So they've given her a movement speed bonus to her passive so that maybe she can get around the map a little bit better. Enzo, nerfed. Ever since we removed the link between skill 2's damage reduction and being flung away, Enzo has been overpowered, especially in the jungle. We've lowered its damage reduction from skill 2, as well as attack speed and movement speed when he gains those bonuses. So specific adjustments, skill 2 damage reduction against the target. Looks like 10% plus 2% of the levels, and now it's 10% plus 1% of the levels. And the ultimate, attack speed after killing or assisting, has... What does that mean? Attack speed after killing or assisting. 75% is what it is. It's been reduced to 50%. Movement speed has been reduced to 60%. All right. So nerfs for Enzo. Charlotte buffed. This is one I'm most looking forward to. I wish it would come out for the stream tonight because I'm really excited about this one. Her skill 2 is just a touch on the slow side for cooling down. So they have changed that from 6 seconds to 5 seconds. Man, you can get that skill 2 out in time, but it's close. So this makes it a little less cuspy to get that skill 2 out twice. And then her ultimate has an increase in damage. So this is just fantastic for Charlotte. She's going to be hard to deal with now. They probably shouldn't have messed with it, honestly, because honestly, a lot of these, and if you play Enzo and some of the other heroes that I'm talking about, Tachi, you might feel like they didn't need anything, and I feel like that with Charlotte. I feel like she did what she needed to do. And maybe the life steal was a little bit, she could have had a little bit more life steal or something like that. But I feel like overall she was in good shape, pretty balanced. So I really feel like maybe this could put her over the top. But Xennial just got a rework and he's getting a buff. His skill 1 Divine Protection Shield is going up. Valheim is getting a nerf. Let's read this because I can't quite figure this out. Designer's perspective. As he currently stands, Valheim is in his late stage of development is one of the toughest archers to deal with in the mid to late game phase. Not only is he extremely mobile when using his normal attack, but he also has more control abilities than an archer should. Furthermore, with the cooldown reduction effect of his blue glaive, his skills have far too short a cooldown. His skill that is meant to be used for survival has become a skill that can initiate teamfights with reckless abandon, sometimes even casting it 3 to 4 times in a single fight. As such, we felt that some adjustments were necessary. So I haven't used Valheim in such a long time because he's kind of a starter hero in my book. So maybe some of these are needed. Skill 2, Curse of Death, cooldown has been decreased, so it's a little bit slower on the cooldown. Ultimate Bullet Storm has been increased by 5 seconds. That's actually quite a bit. So we'll see how that treats Valheim. And here's another starter hero that is getting a nerf. She has too much suppress power in the early game. So her Eagle Eye attack speed bonus has been reduced and the additional damage has been reduced. Again, I don't know if I agree with this. She has her moments, but she's easily counterable. So we'll see. It'll probably put both of those on the bottom of the tier list, or the win percentage. We'll see. Let's see. Wisp has been buffed. We want every archer to have a unique feature and control feel. And this is achieved on Wisp through her cannon form's attack effects. As such, we've made her attacks less frequent but more powerful. So skill 1, attack interval of the enhanced normal attack, 1 second. The range is half a meter longer. Damage is quite a bit higher. And the area of effect is bigger. So her skill 1, I believe that's the barrel that rolls, kind of a control effect, is getting a buff. Elendor, a buff. This is, we discussed this in the previous video. This isn't much. It's kind of more of a untargetable or a iframes change. So he can use skill 2 to avoid being damaged by projectiles if you time it right. I forgot to put this in my list over here on the right above us. The new mode, Spotlight Battle, and again, I'm just kind of going to go through these quickly because odds are we don't get any of these on the global level infinite version, but we'll see. Spotlight Battle is here. You start with full core stats and equipment, so your only goal is to team up and grab the mic in the mid zone, okay? Victory rules. If your team has 20 microphones for 20 seconds, you win the match. Each profession has an exclusive enhancement skill that instantaneously enhances their own abilities. Resurrect ability comes with 5 seconds of invincibility. Okay, so new game mode, possibly. And then bug fixes. And if you have gone through these, you know that I never read all of the bug fixes because there's too many of them and half of them don't mean anything anyway. So I'm going to slowly scroll through these. And if you want to pause and look at those, you are welcome to. So that's it. That is everything for this major update that is coming up. We will, again, right now, as of recording, it is 3 p.m. on the 9th of July. So we will most likely see some effects of this update later tonight, possibly tomorrow morning. I really expect the server to go down for these to be applied because it's battlefield adjustments and other things like that. It's not like it's just some hero adjustments like last update. So I expect that the server will go down. We'll need to get an app update as well. So we will see how that affects us in our gameplay. But that's everything. Again, more parity kind of coming between AOV and Honor of Kings. So it is that meaning that they are leaning towards a merger at some point in the future? Are they trying to get all the AOV people uh, on the same level as Honor of Kings so that they can merge that at some point and not have a big learning curve? I don't know. We'll see what their plan is. We'll never know until it happens because they don't talk. They have no communication whatsoever. Timmy Studios and Level Infinite are completely silent on their plans. They don't even tell their big game platforms like Pokemon Unite or anything like that. So who knows what'll happen when. So that's it for now, though. And I look forward to trying these things out. And as we get the release, I will start putting out videos as to kind of how things are affected. So stay tuned for those. Join us on the streams. We do most Tuesdays. And I hope you all have a great rest of your day. And I will see you all on the battlefield next time.